What's going on today, everybody? I hope you're having a good day. I know that I am, because we're finally doing a project that I've been putting off. I've wanted to do for a while, but haven't really had the time or means to get it done. Now I've got a little bit of time, but I also don't have time because summer is upon us and it's starting to get nice out. With that, I want to start working on this jet ski. I need to get it ready. I want to get it completely done. I want to redo it and hopefully widen out this tray and get it wide and actually use most of what's available to me. So without further ado, I've already got the engine out. It's kind of simple, just a couple bolts on the bottom, a couple hoses, and you can literally pull it forward, pull it out, the whole thing. I have the bread box, the E-box, everything's still connected to it, and a couple hoses still left in here. But my main focus is to get it light, get all the stuff off of it, because I want to re-gel coat it, I want to fix a whole bunch of holes in it, and I want to widen this tray. So that's our goal going forward. And right now, let's get to taking more of this stuff off that we don't need, and hopefully start cutting in this video. So let's get to taking this matting off, because this matting has bugged me pretty much since day one. So here we go, we've got our engine all the way out, sitting on the ground. We've got our E-box here. I kept the bread box on it and most of the wires. I totally forgot to undo this one, so don't forget it attaches to the bulkhead back there, but that was fun to deal with. Take the shield off. I just have the shield set on there and literally slide it forward, pull it up. Don't lose your shims for each of your shim packs to make sure that it's level, but everything's out and the hole's fairly empty. I got some cleaning to do here, and I also found some parts that I need to fix or replace actually. But the whole goal is to get this tray wider than what it is right now, because it's very, very thick. So right now we've got these side posts as big as they are. They're 5 inches wide at the bottom, and they are 3.5 with the padding at the top. So the goal is to make sure, or to cut this out in a dish and match this outer edge, because right now the interior, we only have almost 13 inches. So we only have 13 inches inside of here to stand. Now my feet are kind of big, and that makes me stand really, really close to my knees together. So I have some movement, but I don't. I'd rather have a wider stance and be able to kind of use my body more transfer of energy. And with that, if we're standing even a couple inches out, that's going to be huge, huge save. So we could actually get this out to about 21 inches. So 13 to 21, that's 8 more inches out of this thing that we're going to be able to gain and have room for our feet. So the goal is make this strip a lot skinnier, get all the foam out, all the stuff, and cut this back. Another thing that I'm fighting is all the foam that's in here. Somewhere I've got a leak, because this is, every time I pull it out of the water, it sits for like a week and just drips right out of the exhaust, and it's dripping right out of the back. I've tried kind of resealing it, I've redone the rivets, and I still have a leak. Someone before me had some sponsons on the side, and there's holes through that they've tried to fix and failed, and then I tried to fix and failed, but we need to fix those things. First things first, we need to get this turf mat off here, because while it's an okay install, I stand right at the back on this tail and jam my feet underneath the matting, because there's a real good gap, and it just destroys my toes, because my toes will stick in here and just rub right on this. You can kind of see on both sides they didn't do quite the best install job. So let's go ahead, I think we got to take these railings off to get to this back part so that we can stuff the matting down in here. Let's get to doing that. Well, we've gone ahead and taken these stainless pieces off. So they were actually supposed to have a black coating around it, it looks like. And that stuff has gotten so brittle over the years that it's just broken off. So, yay, more work. But I think we'll polish these up or paint them and then get them back on the ski. So, there we go. A couple things done. So one of the previous persons had epoxied the corners so that it was sitting in here and the water wouldn't catch on this lip. Awesome idea. Probably helps with getting around stuff, but it had 2 of the bolts stuck in it, so it's made getting it out kind of a pain. And now I've got a nut stuck in there that I can't. Oh, there we go. Just break it. Just break it. It comes out. But it's just a bunch of epoxy that they put in there to help stop the water from catching on this lip and help push it under. That's kind of cool. A great tip on any project, and it really goes to anything, is if you can put pieces back together how they came off, but now the piece is off of here, like these bolts and nuts and washers, they'll all stay together. I can move this piece as one, and I don't have to remember when it comes down to it how to put this together, because I've already got enough stuff to remember with all of this project. So if I don't have to remember where every little nut and bolt goes, especially the first time, if you don't have to remember where every little nut and bolt goes, that's a huge plus, time saver, makes it easier for you. It's just way nicer to have that done already. So there you go. Always put the nuts and bolts back on. And now I can put this to the side, get it cleaned later. If I need to, I can take them off, but I don't have to remember where any of this stuff went. Now, the daunting task of having to get all this matting off, it's going to be tough. First thing we got to do is take this bow tie off. Luckily, it's fairly loose. So that guy's out. And then just literally start ripping and tearing to get this off as best we can. I don't know how well we're going to be able to do it, but we'll see. Oh, there is under matting under this. Let's try some fire on this. Maybe heat will work. Well, that was a giant pain, but we got one of them off. Awesome. I don't care about this side so much as the padding. I'm going to be sanding it, and I'm going to be cutting 90% of it off. So I don't care if a little bit of residual gets left on there. What does get it on there, I need to sand off anyways to get the fiberglass to stick. So I'm not doing the most bestest job, but I'm doing a good enough job to get what I need done. So yeah, I'm literally 1-inch strip. I'm gonna cut all the way along here. So all this is going in the trash, and I'm gonna have to remold and remake and refoam. But progress. One side's done. The fire works out awesome. Be careful not to burn through because it rips, and be careful not to do too much because it gets too hot, catches on fire, but it kind of destroys the matting, and if you touch it too quick, it sticks on your hands pretty good. So I'm actually gonna go, I should probably get some gloves on to finish this, but let's go ahead, get rid of that junk, and go ahead on to the next one. So this is that gap that I'm talking about. My toes just stick under and jam into this, and then the fit and finish along the outside has never been great. This side's been awesome. This side looks really, really good all the way up and down, but again, like the front is not quite set in there. And then right here, if it was like this, that'd be perfect, and I might not be doing it, but that is where my feet sit. My foot literally sits right here. My toes jam in to that side. That's going away. You know why? I didn't put any heat to this corner yet. That's why it's not coming off very easy. So the heat is making a huge difference because I got heat on all this back here. Now, granted, it wasn't stuck in a lot of places and there's a lot of water, but the heat's been helping me. There's like a corner, an edge, a seam is going to be super glue, and that's where I found most of the ripping is happening, is right at all the super glue pieces. So, bottom, last one, and then we'll get this ski cutting on this thing. So now the bottom, I'm going to have to do a little bit better job on, or maybe I'll just have to sand it better, but I actually want to reuse the bottom. So I'm going to cut the sides out. The sides are garbage. They're getting re-glassed, but the bottom I'm going to have to use, well, I want to use it. It's already got like 12 or 13 layers of fiberglass in it. The stuff's thick. I want to use that fiberglass and not have to replace it. So use what you can where you can, and it's already becoming a daunting task. But we got this. We can do hard things. Let's get this ripped out and get to moving on getting this project done. Well, the bottom's going to be a little bit of a different story. It actually has some under matting under it, and that under matting is not coming up great other than just chunking out. I cannot get it started and it just pulls into chunks. So we're going to have to do probably a wire wheel to get that stuff off. But on the adverse side of it, it's making this bottom real easy to remove. So it's turning out that a good wood chisel bit gets this stuff off very, very well, and getting all the big loose off, because you can kind of get underneath without destroying or digging into it. So it's working pretty good. Now we got to try to get this under matting off. This is going to make a giant mess. Well, you've kind of got two options here. Take your time, go slow, have one piece come off, or just get after it, get an angle grinder going, and just start throwing foam everywhere. I don't want to get the garage completely destroyed. If I was outside, I might be just throwing foam, but I'm going to have to take my time, do it slow, so I can get as much off of this as I can, and then I'll start grinding on it and getting probably a wire wheel. Probably take most of it off, but it's going to be a slow process. This matting stuff, I didn't realize how hard it was going to be. I'm not getting the bottom layer. I'm literally separating the very bottom and then most of the matting. We'll try. The chisel was working probably the best. I wish I had a bigger wood chisel, but it is what it is at this point. Okay, let's keep doing. Stop talking. So I've gone ahead and put some isopropyl alcohol on the bottom to kind of get that sticky, to stop being so sticky. And it's working pretty good. This stuff's still very sticky because it just keeps ripping my napkins apart, but if we've got our wood chisel bit, I wish I had a bigger one. It's kind of fine because apparently I've got a big crack. I found where all that water's getting into the ski at. There's a big crack there. But if I just take my time and go slow, it's coming off pretty. So, for reference, the fin or the tail right here, I couldn't get ISO on because I just poured a little bit in it. and let it soak in. The difference is marginal when it comes to using the scraper. So this is used without the ISO, and this is with the ISO. So this side is generally not as tacky as this stuff is. So it breaks down that glue. Now I'll have to do a lot more work in here to get all the glue off, but you can see most of the glue is coming off with the parts that I'm scraping up with ISO. And then without ISO, you can see this gray. I'm not quite able to get all the way underneath everything. I can get going, but the chances of digging into the gel coat or fiberglass is very, very high, because I have to put a lot more pressure and a lot more downward angle to get this bit to actually cut in. So it's still, it's still sticky. Out here, stuff doesn't really like to stick to it, but here stuff really sticks, is sticking still. So we'll go ahead and spray it. Another awesome tip, the old matting that you have that's still sticky, awesome place to put all this. Of course, I grabbed the one that's not sticky, to put all this extra stuff, and you can use it kind of as a pickup mat to pick up all the junk that's still left out in there. Now we have a lot less stuff to clean up and try to pry off there, because it's just sticking to this mat. So there you go, use sticky tape. So if we spray this down and kind of get it soaking in a little bit. Again, this is just isopropyl alcohol. I have nothing special. It's just in a bottle, 99%. But if we spray that down, let it soak for a little bit, and then if I go back over the glue stuff that I've already done, I'm able to get off a lot more of this glue with the help of the ISO. So it's breaking down all those glue particles, making it easier for me to get that last little bit off. So now you can hopefully see that that's a lot more white, and that's a lot less scrubbing that I have to do to actually get the rest of it off. So it will come off eventually, but I'll have to use a rag soaked probably in ISO to get this stuff to come up, because it's stuck. It's impressive stuff. I didn't think it would be this stuck, but it is very stuck. This has to be where all my water's coming from, because I've got a pretty good sized crack running all along here, and I think this is where, yes, this has to be where the transom, I guess, would be the hole. I don't know, the jet hole. That's where that ends, and this foam, I guess, is not holding it up well enough to keep it from cracking. So I've got some work to do on the floor, but I think we're all good on our matting right now. This is all off. It's got a little bit in the corners, but I'm less worried about the corners because I'm going to cut a lot of this stuff out. I have to remember that the transom, or I don't remember what this is called, but the interior, the hole right here is going to be back further. So I'm going to have this come back in here. We'll have to figure that out, but I don't envy anybody that has to take all the stuff off the side, because that was not fun. But we got it off. It's all off. It's not sticky anymore. This side's still kind of sticky. If I wanted to, we could throw some baby powder on this and it would make it not sticky, but for the meantime, it's going pretty good. Yeah, I'd say she's soaking wet. Well, we've got one side cut and the other side cut. Used an oscillating tool. It works awesome for this. You could use a Sawzall to get probably a little bit straighter of a line, but I used the 1-inch tape as an offset because I want a little bit of a lip for my elbow to sit on. So that, and I'll probably build it out just a little bit and then curve back in at the bottom flat. I did make this flat right here. I'm planning on putting a duck or a lip right here, so I'll bring that all the way out, make that deck come out to here, and then that'll kind of sort that area out. But the oscillator makes it awesome because you have really tight angles you can get, and it gets into lots of places. It makes a nice flat cut along the bottom, so I have minimum amount of sanding. There is a little bit, I left a little bit of a lip, but for the most part the sanding is pretty flat, so I don't want to have a bunch of fiberglass hanging out. Now, get this thing off. I was using some screwdrivers to get it in here and started, but it worked best to get a blade and kind of poke down in here to cut whatever foam you can. Get that foam cut down so you only have a little bit of force to break versus all of this holding. On this side, there's nothing going through the bulkhead, but on this side, we got to be very careful because we have our exhaust that's high, and then also we've got our steering cable, but I think the steering's more underneath the tray. But just be careful because there is potential for stuff being over here. Don't cut too deep. You don't want to cut that exhaust out because then it's tough to find those. But let's go ahead, get this foam cut up and pry this side off. Yeah, I would say we've got a little bit of a leak going on in there because there's a bunch of mold up on that side, and that's not looking that great. Giant hole means it's decaying. That's probably why my floor's destroyed. But let's go ahead, let's take all this foam out now. The good fun time of taking foam out. Can't think of any other good way other than just ripping it out. It's gonna be a mess, but we're getting there. Look at how much wider that is. Even that wouldn't be bad. Gain another 3-4 inches, but we're going the full width. Make this as wide as we can. Well, I think this is probably a perfect time to stop this video because this is gonna take me forever to get this out. One thing I might do is cut the floor out to make it easier to get the foam out because there's so many things going in and out underneath the floor. So I'll probably cut a little section of the floor out and still have to fiberglass it in. But this is an awesome place to stop. Lots of work to do off camera, which is awesome for you guys because you don't have to deal with it. I still have to deal with it. So let's go ahead, let's get this done. I will catch you guys in the next one where hopefully we're starting to do something new and not just take stuff apart. So hope you enjoy your day. I'm going to foam the rest of my day and take it easy. If you like what we're doing here, don't forget to subscribe, leave it a big thumbs up, and leave it a comment. Do you have a wide tray on your jet ski? If so, did you do it? What troubles did you face? Because I need to know what I'm getting into here. I kind of a little bit in the thick of it, but we're getting there. Okay, take it easy, everyone. I'm out of here. Peace. That's kind of cool.